Hello and welcome to Pieces of 8. We're back and excited to share what's going on around the region. I'm your host, Kanisha Allen. In this episode, we'll be highlighting the good work being done around the region to restore natural habitats. And here to help me do that is the new ARD for migratory birds, Eric Davis. Eric, thank you for coming and welcome.
Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So first question, tell us about your road to Region 8.
Well, for the last 13 years, I've been in ecological services in Region 5, and last summer I graduated from ALDP. And during that time, I got to experience the breadth of the Fish and Wildlife Service and learned a lot about myself, and I like challenges and new experiences. So I'm thrilled to be here in a different program, in a different region, and at a different organizational level.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about you later on, but first, the Sacramento River National Wildlife Refuge and its partners are doing great work to restore the Middle Sacramento River. Michael Woodbridge has the story.
In 1988, the Nature Conservancy joined with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and others to undertake what was then the largest riparian restoration project in the United States. The Sacramento River Project focuses on the 100-plus mile stretch between Colusa and Red Bluff, California. This collaborative project stretches across both public and private lands and, in 1989, founded the Sacramento River National Wildlife Refuge.
What we did was we did the Central Valley Ecoregional Plan, and out of that, the Sacramento River came out prominently. And so we identified it really as a conservation jewel and target.
This large-scale riparian habitat community is considered one of the most important wildlife habitats in California. The Sacramento River Refuge and surrounding project area provides breeding, rearing, migratory staging, and wintering habitat for migratory birds and a home for many federal and state threatened and endangered species.
The purpose of the refuge is for riparian restoration, migratory bird conservation, and endangered species protection and enhancement.
To date, the Nature Conservancy, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and other partners have planted well over 1 million native plant seedlings, restored 6,000 acres of riparian habitat, increased the amount of land available for public use, and protected a corridor of 24,000 acres of land for wildlife.
There's so many things we cannot do without having those good partnerships, and particularly trying to get the land on board, and then even more importantly, once we acquire land, having nonprofits like TNC, the river partners, to do that restoration, because we get monies through land and water conservation to purchase land, but we don't readily get money for restoration, and it's through those cooperative agreements that we have with these partners that we really can leverage the great things we've seen.
Thanks to these collaborative efforts, today, the Sacramento River National Wildlife Refuge and neighboring lands are a vibrant place for a diversity of wildlife, public recreation, and natural riverine processes.
Thanks, Michael. Now, Eric, I understand that your interest in biology was sparked at a young age, right?
Oh yes, I spent most of my time as a kid outdoors, but I didn't think I was going to be a biologist until probably high school, and I had a fantastic high school biology teacher in the 10th grade, and I took her AP class in the 11th grade, and from then on I knew I wanted to be a biologist. I didn't know exactly who employed biologists, but I certainly hoped there was someone.
Okay, awesome. We're glad that you got hooked at such a young age. And speaking of, Pam Bierce is going to tell us about the Schoolyard Habitat Program and what the service is doing to connect kids with nature.
Teachers at Floyd Elementary School in Sacramento learned how to create a schoolyard habitat and get students outside to learn. Trained at the Restore Institute, taught by Schoolyard Habitat Program Coordinator Colleen Volbhurst.
I do a few things to help get schools involved. I have a summer training every year called the Restore Sacramento Institute. It's a week-long training for teachers, helping them learn how to design a project and how to involve their students throughout the entire process.
Because of the training, teachers at Floyd can now bring nature inside, where lessons will follow the growth of native habitats and how plants benefit people and wildlife.
What was most meaningful to me is how I can bring it into the classroom and teach the kids about nature, about plants, about wildlife, about pollinators, and I think I'm going to enjoy learning with them.
Floyd is a high priority school, fortunate to have such dedicated teachers passionate about finding different approaches to teaching.
We have a community that really needs to feel like they're special and empowered, and we have the opportunity here to put parents and children to work and to bring in community partners and work for something that's going to benefit this whole little nook in the bend of the river.
The service will continue to work with schools, helping to turn their projects into reality and getting kids outside to learn.
Thanks, Pam. Now, Eric, tell us about your vision for the Migratory Bird Program moving forward.
Well, right now our focus is on golden eagles and renewable energy, and I hope in the next couple of years that we learn more about the impacts that solar and wind technologies have on eagles, and that we develop more expertise in permitting eagle take under the Endangered Species Act and Bald Golden Eagle Protection Act. And I hope in a couple of years we are able to return to managing a full suite of migratory birds.
Okay, well, we look forward to all of those things taking place.
Thanks.
Now, for our last story, Cindy Sandoval takes us to Lodi, where they have an aquatic invasive species removal program that's in full swing.
Invasive species are the second leading cause of native species extinction.
Most people know invasive species can throw an ecosystem off balance. The Pacific Southwest Region Non-Native Invasive Species Program Coordinator Ron Smith explains the steps in dealing with non-invasives and how they affect your pocketbook.
4 core areas that we use for dealing with aquatic invasive species. Basically, we start with prevention, then we look at early detection and monitoring, then we look at rapid response and eradication, and then we look at management and control.
The Non-Native Invasive Species Program works not only with other agencies but with the public to understand the unwanted organisms. The public is the main vector that transports invasive species around the country and around the world, and they too share in the cost.
When all is said and done, it kind of comes back and it costs money to deal with aquatic invasive species of any kind, be it aquatic or terrestrial. And that money is paid by the public in general through taxes, use fees, grocery store for that matter. You know, you get infestations of aquatic invasive species, just the cost of irrigating crops and stuff goes up astronomically. We're going to feel it.
Through partnerships with California Sea Grant, Smithsonian Environmental Research, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and Nevada Department of Wildlife, the service will continue to research, educate, and stop the spread of non-native invasive species.
Thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Eric, for joining us. And thank you all for watching Pieces of 8. Until next time, keep conserving.